G'day everyone. I spent a lot of time today working on the Subnautica submachine. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out episodes 1 and 2. Lots of progress has been made on the way to getting this thing underwater. I started by installing the CPU water block, and the first step in this process is the installation of a structural plate for the back of the motherboard. Through this plate protrudes 4 retention screws. Water blocks have to be one of the coolest PC parts that money can buy. The block slips onto the retention screws with the copper base in contact with the CPU heatsink and a small amount of thermal paste between. The connection between the two is made tight with 4 tension springs. Of course, the block is not much good if it just looks pretty. It needs water. To deliver water, we need a pump. The pump was to sit between the graphics card and the radiator fan. Like everything in the Q28B, it was a tight fit. Because of a lack of fortuitously aligned screw points, I secured the pump with some freaky smelling industrial grade adhesive shit. The pump is adhered to 2 vibration damping pads, and then the pads adhered to the aluminium case structure. You need to take care when picking adhesives for this kind of job, because the wrong ones can cause nasty reactions with either the polycarbonate of the pump or the particularly energetic electrons of the aluminium. Now the submachine had a reservoir to store water, a pump to move water, a block to heat water and a radiator to cool water. But how would the water get into the machine in the first place? To answer this question, I placed lots of paper towels over every exposed electronic part, grabbed my drill and started punching a hole in the top of a $110 case. Using a circular bit, I cut a hole in the dorsal panel, and after a little bit of cleaning up, I was left with a nice G1-on-4 fitting sized hole right behind the reservoir. Into this hole, I secured a fill port, which can be capped. The fill port aligns with the reservoir inlet. Whenever the owner wants to fill the submachine, they can pour water into this hole. Objective achieved, I put the reservoir back in the 5.25-inch bay and proceeded to mangle the lian lead just a little bit more. This time the bit was going through the base of the case because putting water in is not much use if you can never get the water out. Into this second hole went another cappable fill port. This one aligns with the pump inlet and will allow the user to drain the machine. Now, as cool as all that work is, and as awesome as the machine is going to be when it's finished, I'm starting to have second thoughts about the submachine project. I'm starting to think that these submachines are a little bit like Gorge plushies. Lots of people want Gorge plushies, but it's hard to reconcile the time, effort and resources that have to go into creating them with the amount of value that could be created by them existing. The submachine is taking a long time to build, and it's very expensive and time consuming to source all the specialist parts required to create that awesome water cooling system. So maybe the submachines won't happen. Let's see. I know that's not what you want to hear. Let me know what you think in the comments. However, regardless of what happens to the other 12, I'm going to keep bringing you the construction process on this, the prototype submachine, because when it's finished, it's going to be a very, very cool gaming themed computer. And to be honest, I wish I had the money to buy the prototype from Unknown Worlds myself.